And the Gauteng Department of Environment, MEC, has invited us all to come and celebrate with him. I got a chance to chat with him and the CEO of Maropeng. Here's what they had to say. MEC Ewan Botha, thank you so much for your time. Listen, take us back to 13-year-old you and your first experience here at Maropeng.
Yeah, wow. You know, it's something that you only realize a little bit later on in life, what shaped and defined you. And when I was giving the keynote today, I actually realized that 20-year gap took me to 13, and I would have been one of the first to come in here. And I was always very inquisitive, and this facility, this visitor center, actually gave me the space to be inquisitive, to start asking questions about not only myself, but my heritage, and then all of the really cool things that they've got in the visitor center that you can play with and look at. And you sort of see a lot of these things in your everyday life, but you never actually get to fiddle with them. And so I had probably a good 3 or 4 hours downstairs just fiddling with all of the awesome things. And that really not only gave me an understanding of where we came from, but it started to really spark that desire to start thinking slightly differently about how the world actually works.
I love the personal impact and connection that you have to this place. You were appointed MEC of the Gauteng Department of Environment last year, mid-last year, 2025. How's it going so far? Are you enjoying the challenge?
So far, so good. You know, when I came in, I've got a legal background. I just started doing my MBA, and I thought to myself, okay, so how am I going to navigate, you know, these environmental challenges now? And what is this department going to actually look like, and what is it going to mean, and how do we tackle these things? And I think in the last sort of 6-7 months, it's been fascinating to see how everything fits together, but also to start to strategize and understand how everyone's different inputs shape the environment. For instance, with our waste management, you know, not only do we as society create the waste, but we have an opportunity to rework that waste. And I think particularly from a waste management and a climate space, we've been communicating this quite poorly. Please look after the planet. Please look after the planet. The question is why? Why do I need to start taking care of the planet? Well, what if I tell you that there's money in it? What if I tell you that there is economic opportunity in that waste? And I think the last 6 months has been about setting that up and understanding how do we get people to have skin in the game? How do we get people to buy into what we're trying to achieve? Because we're not going to achieve it if people don't believe in that particular mission. And the first and obvious one is always, oh, well, there's money involved. So where's the money? Money's in waste. So it's been fascinating to see all of those things, and then go back to the enforcement issues, you know, the environmental crimes that have been committed, and looking at how we can clamp down on those things. And then spectacularly this morning we were in Robbie Ridge in Midrand, and we cleaned up a section. And this, I think, took place about 2 weeks ago. I went to go visit there. And within 2 weeks, there's economic stimulation that's taking place there. People are starting to sell fruit and veg where there was an illegal dump site, you know. And so it's been fantastic to find the feet. It's a little bit wobbly in the beginning, but yeah, slowly getting there.
The department's role then in a place like this, Maropeng?
Yeah, absolutely. So look, we're the custodians, right? Because Maropeng Africa Leisure is just the visitor facility, right? But we actually run a much larger facility, we've got a much larger responsibility around heritage, and that is the actual cradle itself, right? So we need to look and work very carefully, not only with the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, because heritage falls within him, but also within the local municipalities around how are they managing the infrastructure here, you know. And so we're looking at all of the environmental matters that are attached to a facility like this. We're looking at how we can bring more people to the facility. Again, you know, how do we communicate the message of being human beings in the most African way possible? Because I think we've got the best way of telling stories, right? And so we're the custodians of that, and it's really a critical role, one of many, but a really critical role in ensuring that South Africa and Gauteng is on the map, and that we've actually got the tourists coming into this beautiful space, that they're able to come and walk around in Mogale City, come and stay, you know, visit all of these tourist centers, and walk away with a sense of belonging somewhere in the world beyond just what we understand as human beings to be within society.
How significant then is this global Excellence Award 2025 for Maropeng, not just for your department, but for South Africa at large?
Yeah, hugely, hugely significant, right? Because when you want to brag about something, you kind of want that accreditation. If I give you advice and I say, well, you know, I once read a law textbook, you'll be like, cool, man. But if I say to you, listen, I am an attorney with 12 years worth of experience and I've worked on all of these high profile cases, you're much more likely to go, okay, this is something to listen to. And I think that this award is the first of many within this new administration, because we have won awards previously, but this is the first of many awards within this new administration that's actually going to make the global market sit up and go, well, there's something there. And it's crucial because this is actually the voice of the people globally, people who have gone and given us ratings and said, it's worth a visit, right? And that now means that I can confidently go out there and say, this is an award-winning facility. This is a space that you have to come and visit. And I think that just gives a little bit more credence, but it also allows me, as I said, to go into the boardrooms and say, but this is what we've done with the little bit that you've given us. Give us more budgets. Let us get the message out there. And, you know, it's just going to grow in leaps and bounds if we utilize this correctly, which I believe we can.
You've got all the bragging rights at the moment, MEC. Does this award then put pressure on the department, or does it confirm and affirm that you're on the right track?
I think there's been pressure on this department. And the reason why I say that is because we've got this award now. Yeah. As I said, it's the first of many. Yeah. But what this really should be, economic hub, right? Mogale City should be the economic hub. And it's not, and I mean, I'm going to use Rassie Erasmus's words here. This isn't pressure, it's privilege. We have got the most special facility in the world. Nothing like this can ever be replicated again, right? So the pressure is on advertising that, on ensuring that people know about it, on commercializing it in a sustainable manner, and something that generations can use for hundreds of years to come, right? So there's privilege in that. But the pressure is, of course, to ensure that we've got the right people at the helm, that people are, and we've got an acting MD, we've got an acting CEO and an acting HOD that are, you know, running the thing, but we are going to have to fill those vacancies. We're going to need to make sure that those people understand exactly what the vision and the mission of this particular facility and the Cradle at large are.
And then finally, MEC, your parting words to people who've never been to the Cradle of Humankind, perhaps even the young people. What advice would you give to them on the significance of this place, and actually for the Gautengers to make a day visit out of it and come and check it?
Absolutely. I mean, for anyone that hasn't been to Maropeng yet, it's an absolute must. And the Cradle at large, as I said, Sterkfontein Caves, this is where you start to discover what came before you. And it doesn't sound all that much until you've seen it. You know, it always sounds really interesting. Oh, I'd like to see these things one day. But for self-discovery, for understanding how you fit into the world at large, this little visit, this day visit, could really mean so much for you as a human being. So it's absolutely critical to come out here. It's also fun. I mean, it's a day visit for the family. You come out, there are kids running around all over the show. There are spaces for you to experiment, play with things, look at, you know, the Homo sapiens that came before you. Yeah. Look at all of the various animals that came before you, what was living in this area, you know, the meteor strike, how that played a role. I mean, it's just absolutely fascinating, and you'll walk.
21 minutes into 2 p.m. in Central African Time. Gauteng MEC for Environment, Ewan Botha, has welcomed the achievement, describing Maropeng as a strategic asset for both the province and the country. He praised the institution for demonstrating how investment in heritage, learning and services qualify or quality rather can be placed here in South Africa confidently on global stages. And he was, of course, in conversation there with Tebogo